All right, welcome to the Nathaneal Podcast. Today we have a very big guest, one of the biggest creators in X that I know personally. Aaron Will, welcome, bro.
Thank you, bro. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. You're one of the first friends that I got, which is surprising because I remember I was only 200 followers when I met you, and I was just spamming you in the comments, and I asked you to follow me, and you actually did. That's crazy, man.
Yeah, you just say fuck it, innit, bro. Like a lot of people are like, oh, bro, will you follow me? I'm like, nah. Then you seem cool, so I was like, fuck.
Cool. Well, I just wanted to share to I wanted to um ask you if you could share your story because it was really inspiring for me, and I want to hear from you about when people sign up to your newsletter, you share your story about going in depth $2,000 and then being successful next. Can you share that story here?
Yeah, of course. God, I've not told this story for a while. So I started university in 2018, and just I didn't really know what I wanted to do in life. Basically, when I was in college in UK, you go college and then you go university.
Mm,
So when I was in college, I was like, oh, I didn't really know what I want to do in life. I wanted to do something in computers because that's kind of the route I was always not forced down, but wanted to go down. So I remember in college one time I was in computer class or computer science class, and I just Googled the highest paying jobs in computer science, and there was one in security, and it was it's called like Cisco or something like that. It's like Chief
mm,
Information Security Officer. But it was like I was like, fuck it, I'll just do that because that pays like the highest amount. It was like 200K a year, but obviously I didn't realize you need like 20 years experience. So I was like, fuck. So finished college. I was like, oh, do I want to go away for university or do I want to stay around here, where I live? And I thought, oh, whatever, I'll just stay around here. So I
mm,
applied and I got in. I was like, okay, cool. So I just went to university, didn't really know what to expect, shit like that. And I kind of didn't know what I wanted to do in life then because obviously you needed like 10, 20 years experience for the job I wanted. So I was like, fuck, what am I doing? So I just went through university, like anyone does, just wandering through. And I failed my first year, bro, because I got drunk as fuck
yeah.
instead of going to my exams. And all my friends were in the exam, texting me like, "Oh, bro, where are you?" And I was in the fucking bar, bro, drinking. It's like shit. So I failed my first year, and because it was the main module of the course, I had to retake the entire year because I failed it. It's like
Mm,
shit. So everyone was ahead of me and shit like that. And then that was 2019 then. And then obviously not long after in 2019, going into 2020, lockdown hit
mm,
because of COVID and shit. I was like, shit. So obviously I couldn't go out. I had no money at the time. But I remember one of the nights just before lockdown hit, I was in a club with some friends and I went to pay for a drink and it got declined because I had no money. I was like, fuck, bro. And that was when you're like drunk and stuff and you're just like deep in your thoughts. I was like, shit, bro, my life fucking sucks. I've got no money. I can't even buy a beer. And obviously then a few days later, lockdown hit. So I had to go back home. And I was already on Twitter because I used
mm,
to have a YouTube channel, which I
mm,
used to like post gaming videos and stuff. So I already had Twitter. So I was kind of lurking on there and I would bookmark the occasional tweet. And I remember seeing one from a guy called Hustle and Conquer,
mm.
and it was about selling ebooks and stuff. I was like, yeah, in my drunken state, I was like, oh, I'll bookmark that. I'll try and do that one day. So my bookmarks are just packed with tweets, how to make money, how to make websites and stuff like that from years ago. But this is when Gumroad was massive and ebooks and stuff was a big thing, and courses. So I was like, let me try this. So I DM'd a few people, bro, how do I start? How do I do what you're doing selling ebooks? And a few replied to me like, oh, bro, just do this, try to upsell me their fucking courses and stuff. But then this one guy, forget his name. It was like Mind Muscle Money or something like that. And he told me, bro, just do this, this, and this. And he was like, write comments, write content, shit like that. So I was like, all right, cool, whatever. I had nothing else to do. I couldn't go out, I couldn't drink or whatever because nothing was open. So I just started. I just remember my first tweet, and he was like, fuck what everyone thinks of you. Keep it real or some shit like that. And thinking back, so but yeah, I just started going nuts with content, and then I started writing a few comments and stuff, and it started doing okay. And I just rebranded then as to my old profile picture. So I started growing. I got to like 200 followers, and I was like, okay, now I'm going to release a course. And the first course I released was a growth course. And I had 200 followers, and I got just destroyed, bro. People in my DMs were like, bro, why are you releasing growth courses when you got 200 followers? And I was like, fun, innit? So um, I wrote it all up. It was the worst. Basically, what the guy told me in the DMs was the course, pretty much, like content and comments. And I published it on Gumroad. I put it on my Twitter, and I woke up the next day and I made a sale. And I was like, oh my god! And it was for like $5 or something. And I was like, the moment where I was like, Jesus, bro, this, I can do this. This works. I could just rinse and repeat. So I sold that. It was a Brazilian kid who bought it for like $5. I was like over the moon because it was like the first ever money I made. So I continued on, but I still had no money because Gumroad holds your money because if you're like new for a few weeks and some stuff, so I couldn't pull it out or anything. $5 wouldn't make any difference anyway. But so yeah, I kept growing, and then I kept following a bunch of people, and then I found Danco, and then Danco was at 5K followers at the time, and I liked his stuff. He was doing web design stuff at the time, so I liked his stuff, and I jumped in his DMs, and I called him a white girl for a random reason. I really don't know why. I was like, bro, anyone ever told you look like a white girl? And he was like, yeah, bro, I get this all the time. I was like, yeah, cool. We had a little conversation where we were back and forth. And then I realized he had a web design course. And I was like, bro, is this web design course, what can I expect to get from you? He was like, well, you can close clients from it, obviously. And it was called, I don't know if it was Modern Mastery. No, it was something else. But he doesn't sell it anymore. And I had it was £20, but I'll just say dollars for the sake of the story. But I had $20 left in my bank account. And I was overdrawn. I was like 2K in debt, overdrawn. I had $20 left. And I was like, fuck, I'll just buy it. So I bought it. I spent my last ever money. And I studied the shit out of it. And I started promoting myself then. I started making a few fake websites or whatever. I started promoting myself. And this guy DM'd me and he was like, bro, make me a website. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, yeah. I charged him like I think it was like 200, 500, something like that. And he paid me and I did it. And I was like, oh my God. And that was the first money I made from like website design and shit like that. That was like the first high ticket thing. So I kept doing the web design stuff. And then I was at like 5K, 10K followers then, I think. I grew really fast in my first year. I had like 100K in my first year because I was just grinding out comments every single day. And I released a new course that did like 3K, which was like fucking disgusting amounts of money back then. Like I paid off my overdraft. I was like, oh my God. And then yeah, I kept growing then. I kept growing. I kept making connections and stuff. And what did I do then? I did coaching, and some guys approached me and they were like, bro, you be making so much more money from your account. This was after lockdown ended then. So I was at like 100K. People messaged me, bro, why don't you just do coaching? So I paid these guys, they helped me do coaching. Didn't really like it. Then I moved into, what did I move into then? I think it was funnel design. Yeah, I moved into funnel design and I was like, spent $1,000 on a course of funnel design. I was like, I don't really like this. So I just wasted $1,000. And then I moved into ghostwriting. Ghostwriting did very well. And like the highest paying client I got, this random guy called me, bro. He called my Telegram one day on Sunday. He's like, bro, I've been loving your content. I was like, who the fuck are you, bro? Just randomly got my Telegram. Like, can you do ghostwriting for me? I was like, yeah, of course. And he said, how much? I said, like, it's 15K, obviously 5K per month. And he was like, yo, cool, send the invoice. Oh, sorry, it's 12K. So I sent him the invoice for 12K and he just paid instantly. I was like, oh. So yeah, ghostwriting not long after I got disgusting results from stuff like that. And I was like, okay, ghostwriting's getting a pain in the ass at the moment. So I moved then to working with Wiz VCom, who's now my business partner. So I hired him and then he hired me. And I was like, bro, what are we doing? Why don't we just work together? Yeah, we released the presence pillars, bro. And then here we are today. So very long 4 year story. But that night in that bar, bro, I think if lockdown didn't happen and my card didn't get declined in that bar, then probably I wouldn't have gone nuts on Twitter.
Yeah. The reason why I like hearing that story is you mentioned that in your welcome email, right? And then you talk about like hustle and conquer and how he was like kind of like your light in the dark in a way, because as long as you had someone that, oh, it works, I can just keep grinding and then it works. And that my hustle and conquer was you actually. So if you don't mind me sharing my story. So I was also in university and I was doing like night shifts. I was getting paid 400 per month. I needed to like sustain myself. And that's basically my life. Like I had 4 hours of sleep. I would do night shift, and then I would go to university, like study. And then I read this book, like Art and Business of Online Writing. And then I started writing Quora, and then I transferred to Twitter because I got more engagement. And then that's when I met you. And then I signed up for your newsletter. I got that email where you talked about like you can make money, you can make disgusting amounts of money in X. And when I saw that, like I decided to go all in. I took a leave of absence in university and then just went like work and Twitter. That's it. And for a long while, I wasn't closing anything. It was just, I felt like I was hopeless, bro. Like, well, I bought all these courses and spent all this money to boost my learnings to like close a client. And I just felt like, man, I also went in debt actually, because I needed to buy the courses, and I was like just investing on them with all my savings. So I was just like going back to your email and looking at this guy was even like 2000 in debt. He was even in a worse position than me. And if I just keep on posting, if I just keep on doing this, like something's gonna happen, and it fucking happened, bro. So yeah. One interesting thing that you said there that really helped me is like your first email, you're like, do me one favor for the next 7 days, like comment like your life depends on it. And that's what I did in the beginning too. It's like I did what you said, 200 comments, right? Like every time you post, you say 200 comments per day. Dude, I doubled that. I was like 500 comments per day. I don't fucking care. I just I commented to every big account, every account that I would see. I just commented, and that really helped me grow my account so bad. So yeah, thanks for that, bro.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, because there's so much different growth advice now online, especially on X, like, oh, if you do auto DM giveaways or if you do this and this and this, a lot of people get caught up in that advice, and the foundational advice they just forget. Like the foundational advice being just write good content
Mm,
and comment a lot and make
yeah.
connections. That's all you really need to do. Like everything like the auto DMs and stuff is just extra and it's not necessarily needed. But I think a lot of people just go crazy with the what's the word? The non-foundational advice or
Mm,
the non-basics, the complex advice. And they forget about, oh yeah, content and comments will always work. So maybe I should just go on that. So that's why I say, just write the shit in the comments and post the shit in the content, and that's all you really need to do. And then it's just a game of. The trouble is, everyone wants to grow 1,000 followers a day right now.
mm,
They forget, it's a fucking grind, bro.
mm.
Like it took me ages. It took me a year, obviously, to get to 100K, but that was back when the algorithm was like popping.
Crazy, right?
But
Yeah.
now, obviously, it's much harder, but it still works.
Yeah. It meant I remember I was in a cohort call, one of my courses that I took with Taylor Simmons, and he also said that's like you could post a thread and you would get like 500 followers from a thread easily before.
Yeah,
Even Dakota
yeah,
was at the
it was
same.
disgusting.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
disgusting, bro. You could literally post a thread, send it to some of your friends or in your network, or say, bro, can you like retweet this for me? And you could just get thousands of followers from it. That's what back in the day. Now it's like a long form a day or
Mm,
a short form video a day. But back in the day, if you posted a thread a day, there were people doing challenges and they were like posting a thread every single day for a month. And they would get like 10K followers in a month just from the threads. But now obviously threads don't pop off as much because of the
mm.
long forms. But you could do that challenge again today, like a thread a day for 30 days. And not necessarily, I'm not necessarily saying you won't grow, but you
Mm.
won't get near as many followers as you do now because thread, I don't know, the thread, like the way the algorithm is at the moment. I don't want to be one, oh, it's the algorithm, but it is the algorithm. The algorithm is busted at the moment.
Yeah.
It just doesn't pop the same way as it used to, which is it's strange, but we have to move.
Yeah, even me actually. So I started Twitter like 3 months ago, and I noticed my engagement have been going down too. It's like before, dude, I would post something and it would go, for some reason, a platitude would go, I don't know, 10,000 impressions every day. I'd post just a platitude because you know, my content strategy is like a platitude in the beginning because I found the platitudes like just go popping, man. I don't know why. So that's my first post so that I could get like people tapping on my profile already. And then I would post a like a tip, a writing tip, and then I would post a long form or a thread. So what would happen is when they see the platitude that's going off, they would tap my profile and then they would see my long form for authority, right? That's my strategy. But now for some reason it doesn't work. Like the platitudes and all the, it just doesn't work anymore. I don't know what's happening with the algorithm, man.
Yeah, it is like 50% of people's engagement problems are from the algorithm. And that's not me just blaming the algorithm. It is because the algorithm is broken. But I do the exact same thing, bro. Like I'll post more engagement, not engagement bait, but more engaging content, like platitudes or like memes. I've started posting a meme every single morning down and break into more value content. It's like how to make money, and then I'll go deeper into like, more niche related problems and stuff just to boost the engagement first. Because if you just post, a lot of people make the mistake of just posting value content.
Yeah.
And yeah, the content is valuable, but I think because it's so niche down and it's only targeting, like obviously the more valuable, the
Yeah.
more niche down you have to be.
Yeah.
And because of that, obviously you're not targeting everyone.
Yeah.
Whereas if you do a platitude first, you're targeting everyone. And then you funnel them down into the value content. You're like, oh, this guy's actually valuable as fuck. But if you're just
Yeah.
posting value content all day, only the people who it's aimed towards are going to see that. And
Yeah.
obviously, not all of them are going to see it because the algorithm is busted to fuck.
Yeah.
But I think, yeah, platitudes do. I was saying this in a live stream yesterday. You've got to decide what you actually want from your account. And if you want followers and you want engagement, then just post platitudes. If you want leads and you want money and an actual audience, post value content. But obviously, there needs to be a good split, because if you're posting, if you want, everyone needs followers and engagement to boost all their posts. And you get that from platitudes and just generic content, like that feel good content.
Yeah.
But obviously, then you need to make money as well. So you need to post a different split of value content. So if you find that nice split, then it becomes much easier than just having to post one or the other. What I've been doing, I've not posted platitudes, like, oh, drink water or live, laugh, love or shit like that. My platitudes now are in the form of just myself, like my personal opinions, my
Yeah.
experiences, kind of taking a platitude, putting my own personality into it.
Yeah.
And that just works so well.
Yeah. And that's one of your principles that you talk about, like 50-50, right? 50 personality and then 50 value. That's one of the things that you talk. And I learned a lot from that. Like I did that too. I post like content. I post singing videos, like where I play the guitar, and I would do that. Before it would pop off, now it doesn't because of the, I don't know, blaming the algorithm again. But I mean, dude, one person, and this is why I also think that the 50-50 works, because someone wanted to be my client just because he saw me playing a guitar. So like he didn't even talk about my value content. He didn't care about that. He just saw that, oh man, this guy's playing the guitar. I like guitars too. Okay, let me just hire him. So yeah, that's funny, man.
Yeah, bro. A lot of people, they're kind of scared to post themselves. Like, a lot of people, they see the word personal brand and they just remove personal from it. Like, I'm just going to post value content all day. And the trouble is, like, I used to audit accounts, and the guys who weren't making enough money were the people who were not posting enough value content. And then the person or the guys who weren't getting enough followers or engagement weren't posting enough personal content. And I used to just say to them, bro, you need to build personal brand by being personal. You need to put your own experiences out there and stories, because they were just spamming how to do this, how to do this, how to make money. And yes, good, but people are going to get bored. So like your singing videos, bro, it was a nice, like I listened to them before I go to bed. Like I drift off to them. But it's a good split because you're posting, how to make money, or how to do this, or how to grow and shit like that. And then it's a nice split then because it's a singing video. So people are like, oh, Nathaneal, this guy is obviously a fucking human, not just some bot who's spamming out value content stuff. So like I tweeted before and I said, you need to be very volatile with your content. Like your audience should never expect
Yeah.
what you're going to post next. They should never expect, oh yeah, I know he's just going to post another how to make money post again. It should either be, oh, is he going to post like a fucking gym pump picture, or is he going to post, a $10,000 blueprint? So you should be very, what's the word I'm trying to think of?
Unpredictable.
Spontaneous.
Oh, okay. Spontaneous. Yeah, yeah. It's
Just shut down.
it's a great it's a great tip. And I think it also that tip is also applicable for comments, because like I remember this, there's this master class, I forgot but people just kept on saying like, when you comment, you need to like add value, add value, add value. I'll be like, bro,
I
I
hate it,
saw
bro.
this tweet from Kieran, and I've been living by it for quite some time now. It's like post like a pro, comment like a bro. That's why when you look at my comments on your account, I'll be like just fucking around saying whatever I want, like the Lord and Savior Aaron, things like that.
Bro, it's the best way to be. Like I wrote a tweet before. I said I'm professional as fuck with my content, and then I'm a moron with my comments because that's such a good split. Because if people come into your account and they say, "Oh, yeah, this guy's just a dick," because he's just posting whatever he wants, and then you're doing the same in the comments, then you're not gonna be taken as serious. But
Yeah,
if you're posting pure value content and people can see, oh, this guy is obviously he knows
yeah.
what he's doing. But then in the comments, you're like, yeah, fucking Mr. Mullet is you or some shit like that. Then they're gonna know, oh yeah, this guy is a sound guy. I'm gonna follow him because that's when the personality shines. So what a lot of people do wrong is they're really professional with their content, which is fine, but
Mm,
then they're really professional with the comments.
yeah.
And the thing you just said about adding value, bro, it just pains me. Because adding value, what does that even fucking mean, bro? Someone just came up with that and then everyone started living by it. But then you get people that just reword the original tweet,
Yeah.
say the exact same shit. Like
Yeah.
I posted, I think it was yesterday, how you can get clients or some shit like that. And people are like, oh, this is really good advice, shit like that, which is cool. But then other people then just like took what I said and just said the same thing. I was, what do you want me to say, bro? A lot of people forget it's actually social media. It's still fucking Twitter at the end of the day. You are
Yeah.
allowed to be a moron.
Yeah, yeah. That's why like I love commenting on your stuff because you also show personality, and so I can like screw around and like be a moron too. So I mean, that's actually also I remember I have a friend, Benjamin Chan. He also got a follow from Dakota by being an idiot in the comments. So yeah, I think that's how you get attention from big accounts too, right? Because the big accounts, they will already expect people giving value in their comments. But if you become an idiot, you'll catch their attention. And that's how I got you to follow me too.
Exactly. You need to stand out, bro. Like I always like to say, in a sea of bots, you need to just stand out. And you
Mm,
stand out by putting your personality into everything. Because in a world on Twitter where everyone is saying the same stuff, only the people with the highest follower counts are those with personality. So if
yeah.
you're in the comments and say you write a tweet and you got 10 comments, and nine of those comments are just people rewording the original tweet or like agreed or some shit like that. And then you've got one guy like, oh, bro, this post was fucking sexy, bro. Some shit like that. That person's going to stand out because he's not blending in. So you've just got to use your personality to stand out pretty much. Like where a lot of people do wrong is they think, okay, now, so this, I need to be professional with this because obviously business is professional. I'm a fucking moron, bro, in the comments. I'm a literal moron. Like, but I don't care because that's what you need to do to
Yeah.
like stand out. Built
Do you,
so many connections, bro, by just
do,
flirting with people in the comments.
yeah, yeah. Do you still spam out comments like even when you're big now? Like you still do 200, 500, like 200 comments like that?
No, the 200 comments thing was more for people to get into the sort of flow of
Mm,
leaving comments and to
mm,
make them understand that you need to actually leave comments to grow. Where a
mm.
lot of people took that advice too seriously and they're like, okay, 200 comments. And they would be like, some guy literally said, bro, I've got a fucking sticky note next to my desk. And every time I leave a comment, I put it like a line down to say I've left a comment. Like, bro, why are you fucking doing that, bro? Just do it genuinely. Just like leave two. You don't have to leave 200 every single day and then stop.
Yeah.
Like just leave as many. I was trying to get people into like the flow of leaving a
Mm,
lot of comments, but doing it genuinely.
mm,
But people just took it way too serious. But you need to be leaving comments, obviously.
yeah.
But I don't leave two. I don't count how many I leave. That's the number
Right.
one thing I tell people. Don't
Yeah.
say like, okay, comment number one. This is comment number because then you're forcing it out. And the number one thing you don't want to do on social media, especially if you're building a personal brand, is force out shit because then
Yeah.
it doesn't become your own opinion. Then it becomes,
Mm,
okay, I'm leaving this comment now because I need to leave comments instead of I'm leaving this comment because I have something to say.
yeah. Yeah, I like what you said there in your that's one of the things that you talk about your newsletter too. It's like don't leave a comment because you have to say something, leave a comment because you have something to say, right? So don't just force
Yeah,
things out.
exactly, bro.
Mm,
Exactly, bro. There's a lot of forced content out there, and you can see that, okay, they're leaving this comment because they want likes and followers. They're not leaving this comment because it's their genuine opinion.
mm,
And again, going back to like the 100 people who I can just tell they're leaving the comment for the sake of leaving the comment,
mm.
I'm not going to follow them, bro. I will follow the people who are leaving the comments because they know they just have some shit to say. Oh, that's how they're like in real life. Like you leaving the comments, call me like Mr. Mullet and shit like that. It's fucking funny, bro, because not a lot of people do that. My
Yeah, yeah.
comments are usually just reworded tweets or just not added value and shit like that. It's very rare you see some people actually having conversations. I think a lot of it comes down to, bro, just leaving comments. The number one thing is just being a fucking human. And a lot of people just forget that because they need to be professional, shit like that.
Yeah, and it's like sometimes you don't need to leave a comment, like even if you say that you need to leave 200 comments. I mean, when I see a content and then I try to comment and then I don't have anything to say, I just leave a like. That's it. I don't I
Yeah.
scroll. I look for another content that I have something to say for.
Yeah, it's the best way to be, bro, because it's genuine. You're not forcing
Mm,
anything out. And it's just being human. Like you wouldn't go on Facebook with your friends, like your personal Facebook profile, and be like, okay, I need to leave 100 comments a day and start going on everyone's like profile picture and commenting and shit like that. And then especially imagine going on your friend's profile, going through all his fucking posts on Facebook for the day and adding value. It's just weird, bro. Like you wouldn't do that on Facebook. You'd just be like, oh, a sexy boy or some shit like that. And then you'd move on. Like a lot of people, I wish people would take the principles that they use on Facebook on Twitter because
mm.
then they would grow so much faster, bro, if they did that. And they'd make so many more friends.
Yeah. And that's the point, right? Like to make friends, but people, I don't know, it's kind of weird when people comment like a robot and try to, you can smell that they want something from you, you know? Because that's what I learned too with closing clients. I don't even think of like pitching them, right? I just think of like, because that's what I learned from you. I remember when we hopped on the call, I thought that it was going to be a pitch about, like the course. And then you just helped me. Like you just helped me with landing clients. And I'll be like, holy shit, now you know, I want to be a part of this guy's course and all that. And I realized, man, maybe that's what I should do too. And that's what I did with my prospects. I just like talk to them like people, ask them how they were, even asking them, because I remember this one client, he likes basketball. And like, we just talked about basketball for 30 minutes and then hopped on the call. And then that's how I closed them. So yeah, just forming genuine connections and not really thinking of like closing or wanting something, just being genuine, I think goes a long way.
Yeah, you said it, bro. You nailed it. It's all about every single thing that we just said can be summarized by just being genuine. Like
Mm,
all you have to do is just be genuine. Like write because you have something to say, sell because you can genuinely help people, not writing because you have to write 200 comments or selling because you need to make money. Like obviously you need to grow and you need to make money, but the driving force behind those results should be I'm doing it because I want to.
yeah.
No, I'm doing it because I fucking need to, bro. Because then again, it becomes forced out, and you just get told to fuck off, bro.
Yeah, yeah. How did you balance that though, considering that, you were in, again, we talked about like you being 2000 in depth. And I felt that too, the neediness, because you feel like you're gonna lose something. How were you able to shift that from, I need to make money to I just want to do this?
So I was very fortunate because I didn't have any bills to pay and shit like that. Like I had the odd like Netflix
Mm,
subscription come out, but I knew that I wasn't in the trenches pretty much. I didn't have bills to pay. I didn't have,
right.
food to put in my mouth and shit like that because I lived with my parents. So it was kind of a safety net.
Mm,
But for some people, it's driven not driven by greed, but they're driven by shit. I need to like survive
mm,
pretty much, and that's why the forcefulness comes out. But
mm,
I think I was able to be genuine with it and non-needy because I knew if it didn't work out, then I still had other options I could go down. Like I could
mm,
just go get a job.
mm,
It was just a testing ground for me when I started Twitter, just to see
Mm,
like, oh, if can I do this? Is it
mm,
possible to do this? But then what a lot of people's situations are is they need to make it work. So they're
yeah.
going to try everything in their power to make it work, and then that's when the forcefulness comes out. But I think for me it was easier because I had something to fall back on
Mm,
if it didn't work. So that's why I wasn't not too bothered if I didn't close a client. Obviously, I wanted to get out of debt and shit like that. But if I didn't close one client, I'd know then, okay, it didn't work out. I can get another one. And
yeah.
if this whole Twitter thing work out, then I could just go get a job. So a lot of people rely on Twitter and rely on their business to make money because they've got
Mm,
mouths to feed, they've got bills to pay. If they don't, then they've got no fallback option. But it wasn't like that for me. And I think that's why I grew so fast compared to other people, is because I went into it just being genuine because I didn't really, not didn't care if it didn't work out, but I was okay with it not working out.
yeah, and I think that's important, right? But even like with people who kind of don't see Twitter or don't succeed in Twitter, I mean, it's not the end of the world, right? Even those people who, what's this, who depend on Twitter in a way. I mean, you have to understand, there's still work outside. Like then you can still apply
Exactly.
for you can still apply for a job outside so that you can sustain yourself. And then what's important is that when you build a Twitter following or you practice Twitter, you already get there and you kind of like put a foot on it and you can work. That's what I did, right? Like I was still working the night shifts, but I already knew that I had a foot on the door with Twitter, and anytime that it works, I could like go there, just pivot to that point immediately. So yeah.
Exactly. Like one of the, I remember one guy DM'd me and he was like, bro, I need to pay bills this month. How do I make money?
What the
And I just
fuck?
straight up said, like, yeah, like, bro, just get a fucking
Get a
job.
job.
Why are you, yeah, why are you trying to fucking build up a Twitter account to pay your bills? Like, the number one piece of advice I give to people if they've got jobs or something like that, or if they don't have a job and they need to make money quick, just get a job. Get a job and then start a side hustle or Twitter on the side
Yeah.
and then scale that as you're in the job. And
Yeah.
then once the side hustle or Twitter, whatever is the business,
He's
you
making more
match
money.
the income with your job.
Yeah.
Yeah, then leave the job. Like, but yeah, bro. Oh, bro, I need to pay bill. Like, just get a fucking job, bro. Like, Twitter's not the only thing in the world you can make. Go sell some shit or something in your house that you don't need. It's just people are fucking stupid, bro.
They're nuts, bro. They're nuts. But yeah, I totally get that. So, like, just to go back to what you were saying, um, you're going to if Twitter didn't work, what would you have done if you think if Twitter didn't work?
If it didn't work, I would have got a job.
Mm,
I'd probably something in computers,
mm,
or I always wanted to make a business work because I've started so many different businesses in the past. Like I did before Twitter even not existed. That was like 2006. I was
mm,
like 6 years old. But before I was even on Twitter, Twitter was even like a thing for me.
yeah.
I made apps. I used to do app development. I used to do graphics design. I remember sitting. So my girlfriend used to work at this bar or this
Mm,
pub, and I remember this one time I got there and she went to work. So I was staying over her house and she went there. I was like, oh, I'll come with you or whatever. I'll just bring my laptop. And I remember it was a very old fashioned pub,
yeah.
all old guys in there just drinking beers and shit like that. And I was at the fucking bar where she worked and having a conversation with her on my laptop on Fiverr, trying to get gigs for graphics design, bro. Spamming comments and stuff, trying to get gigs. But I always wanted to make a business work,
Mm,
regardless of what area it was in. I never really liked the norm of you go to school, you get a job, and then you
mm,
retire. I never
yeah.
really liked that because obviously, like I saw a picture when I was younger, and the post was something like, um, everyone wants you to go to school, get a job, and then you see the teacher's parking lot, and it's just like old crappy cars and stuff. And it got me thinking, like, all these jobs, bro, like people getting these good professional jobs, whatever, and you see the
Mm,
parking lot, and there's no Lambos, there's no Bentleys, there's no Rolls Royces and stuff like that. It's all old crappy cars, and it just got me thinking, like, if these jobs are deemed successful, how come they not got like nice cars, nice watches and stuff?
Yeah.
I was like, fuck that, I want to start a business. So yeah, I just tried so many different ventures. There was app development. I tried YouTube for a bit. YouTube did okay, but I didn't stay consistent with it. Graphics design. What else did I do? I tried SEO, bro. That was a fucking pain. Um, what else did I do? I've done investing, bro. Fuck me. So
Investing on what?
like stocks and stuff. I had no idea what I was doing. This was when I was really young. So my
Yeah.
parents would give me like an allowance each week, and I would just say I would never go out and buy stuff. I would just literally sit in my room all day, play Xbox. So I had some money saved up. So I remember putting like quite a bit of money into like stocks.
Mm,
Yeah, because I saw like YouTube videos, people making like thousands of dollars, but they were like advanced traders with like 20 years experience.
yeah.
So I was signing up to this like trade account,
Mm.
putting money in like Forex and stocks, and I just lost it all. I was like, fuck. I tried that.
How
That just never worked.
about
Crypto. I
Bitcoin? Have
remember
you tried
putting money in
Bitcoin
crypto. Yeah,
or
I
Brit
bought
crypto?
Bitcoin. I bought Bitcoin, but it was like a very little amount. It was like $50 worth, but it was when Bitcoin was worth like a grand. So I bought like
Mm.
$50 worth. And I remember this one time I bought it, and me and my parents went out to a restaurant. I was like, oh my God, my crypto's up by like $7. I was so happy and shit like that. And I sold, I was like the closest I got to Bitcoin. But I remember I bought 20 grand's worth of Doge, bro.
Mm.
Bought 20 when Doge was blowing up.
Yeah.
But it was when peak. It was, so you know, with like crypto
Oh,
and stuff, it
yeah.
blows up and then it goes viral on like platforms and stuff. People are like, oh, this is the best investment because it's going up. So a
Yeah.
lot of people buy it at the peak. I bought it at the
And
peak,
then it goes
bro. I
down.
bought 20 grand's with, and then it went back down. I lost 20 grand. I was like, fuck. So I always wanted to make something in business work. But I think going back this, I just went off on a tangent. But if the whole business thing didn't work, then I think the plan was to get some sort of job with computer science,
Right.
programming or some shit like that. I didn't want to because I didn't enjoy it. Um,
Mm.
but just anything to be honest, bro, to pay the bills. I wouldn't really mattered.
Right, right. So you were just going to what you mentioned, you were always looking for a business. And I actually saw this in one of your podcasts. I think it was with Greg. I forgot his last name, but Greg, a podcast in
Yeah,
YouTube.
yeah.
Yeah. And you talked about like you were always just trying to create, like even when you were young, you mentioned that everyone was out and you bought a laptop to learn how to do Photoshop.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where did that inspiration come from? Like, why, what did you, or did you watch something or was just like in your brain, just curiosity?
Yeah, I think it like I've always loved design, like graphics design and like fonts. I know it sounds nerdy as fuck, but I've always like, you know, type kits and stuff like that. So I remember because I never used to go out, bro. Like all my friends would go out, um, partying and shit like that. This was obviously prior to university. But I never went out. I never bought clothes and shit like that. I didn't really care.
Yeah.
I would spend my money on like Xbox and or I would just save it. So I remember I used to have this little iPad. I used to watch videos on like graphics and I was like, oh, that's cool as fuck. So I bought a MacBook, saved up, basically spent all my money on a MacBook. And I started like fucking around with Photoshop and Illustrator and stuff like that. I was like, oh, this is cool. And I started making banners. And then I got into YouTube from that because I've always wanted to do like YouTube. You know, when you're like a kid and you're like, oh, I want to be a YouTuber. So
PewDiePie.
I got into YouTube because my friend, yeah, legit, bro, PewDiePie was like big inspiration. I was like, oh, I want to do this. I started playing the horror games and stuff. Well, my friend was already a YouTuber and
Mm.
he was doing pretty good. He had like 1K subscribers, which when I was in school, everyone was like, oh, do you know he has 1K subscribers? And he became like my best friend in school. And he was like, bro, you should do YouTube. Like I did a few videos with him. I was like, yeah, I want to do YouTube. So when I bought the laptop, I learned how to edit
Mm.
and I would record myself. You know, I asked for a capture card, like a gaming capture card for
Yeah.
Christmas. And I would just sit and play Xbox and just upload YouTube videos and stuff. And then I learned how to edit from that, learned how to make like banners and graphics and short intros and stuff. And it kind of stemmed from there. And
Mm.
then it went into like app development and stuff. I was like, oh, because I was learning how to program and stuff. I basically taught myself how to program. And yeah, that's kind of where it stemmed from. But I never liked the normal route of life. You know, like I said, you go to school,
Mm.
get a job, shit like that. But it was like that in every aspect. So I never liked going out and getting drunk and shit like that until
Mm.
university. So I much preferred the lone wolf type shit. I know
Yeah.
it sounds sad, just fucking keep the laptop making like YouTube banners. But yeah, that's kind of where it stemmed from. And that was like ignited the fire of, yeah, I want to do shit by myself, sort of stuff. And taught myself how to program, taught myself graphics and stuff like that. I've always liked that sort of route.
Right, right, cool. So you mentioned you started like a YouTube channel. How'd that go?
Bro, it had like, I know it sounds sad as fuck now because everyone's got like millions of followers and stuff
Yeah.
and subscribers. But I would grind out, bro. I would record a video, spend like 4 hours editing it. Like there's this guy on YouTube called Merc Music, and he does like Call of Duty and stuff. And I really liked his edits and his style
Mm.
of editing. So I would like spend 4 hours editing a video just to make it good. And it would do okay. Obviously, I was really small. I think max I got to like 800 subscribers, which at the time I was like 15, 16 was like it was pretty good for me to be honest. But then I kind
Mm.
of the output wasn't matching the level of
The
input. Like I would spend all day recording a video, thinking of ideas, editing, then like pushing it out, and it would get okay views for the levels I had. But I kind of got fed up
mm.
with not seeing the output for the input I was given. Like
Mm.
I was every single day just editing for like a few views, and I was like, like maybe I could spend my time better and get better outputs. So it did okay. I would like to have seen like the life path that I would have taken if I stuck with it and got better with it. But then again, I think it did teach me some like fundamental lessons with like consistency and stuff, and the whole skill set like editing. Because I still
Mm.
edit videos now. I still do some graphics and shit now, and it did teach me good knowledge. But I would like to have seen if I stuck with it where I could have been at.
Right. And what age were you when you tried this again? Or what year was it?
I think I was 14, so it was back in like 2013,
Mm.
2014. I started. First video I made was like me designing my banner, and it was just me on Photoshop. But like I remember halfway through when I was just screen recorded Photoshop. Halfway through, my mother came in and started talking to me, and it was still recording. So there's a big fucking gap in the video where the mouse is moving and it's just stuck on one. And I was like, fuck, and I didn't know how to edit it properly. But then I just slapped some music on there. It did like 100 views, which is pretty
Mm.
solid for like a first video.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fucked, bro.
And do you think you'll like pivot to that anytime soon now, or just stick to Twitter? What do you think?
Yeah, I will get into YouTube for like personal brands and stuff in the future. Now, bro, time is just my enemy at the moment. Like, there's not enough
Right.
hours in the day. Like yesterday, I had like 4 hours worth of calls. Then I started to write content, went to the gym, came back, and I was just like, fuck, bro, I'm dead. But yeah, YouTube, I think once everything is like systemized and
Mm.
back to normal, working properly, like my program is systemized and on money's coming in
Yeah.
systematically, then I'll get into it because like YouTube, bro, even now is such a fucking grind. Like I was talking to Wiz, my business partner, and he's like, bro, I
Yeah, he
just
has a
spent like
YouTube, right?
fucking hours. Yeah, doing a YouTube video. I was like, geez, bro, like how do you get the time to do this? And he's like, yeah, I still got shitloads to do. I think once my time is freed up and I can dedicate time to it, because it is a bitch, bro. Like
Yeah.
thinking of the idea, recording it. I remember there was this one time I was recording like a gaming video and I wouldn't script it, but I would like fake my reactions to like horror games. And I retook this take about 10 times because I wanted to get like the scream perfect. And it took like 2 hours just to like restart and get back to that point. But yeah, I will get into it eventually. It's just when my time
Cool,
isn't
cool.
against me.
Excited for it, bro. And you mentioned something about sorry, you mentioned something about like in university, you were this creator, right? You were always thinking, create, and start a business. What did you think like shifted during university that you started like being those people who go out and like getting drunk and things like that?
So I think it was like 2 months. I'll give you the rundown. So I started when I was in college, which is like high school.
Right.
I started going to the gym because I was going on a cruise with my parents in a few
Yeah.
months. I was like, oh, I'm skinny
You.
fat. Let me try and put some muscle on. So I started going to the gym, and then I I went to the gym. I got, I could see my top two abs. Everyone could see their top two abs and shit. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm a fucking beast or whatever.
I'm jacked.
But yeah, legit, bro. It's like skinny jacked. But I was still very introverted. But the gym brought some extrovert out in me. But I was very introverted and I still never went out to clubs and stuff. Like in the UK, the drinking culture in the UK is disgusting. Like you can just drink, it's like 12-year-olds drinking and stuff like that. But I was never that person. Um, so then I went on the cruise and I turned 18 so I could drink or whatever. So on cruises, the way it works is you buy a drinks package and then you can just have unlimited drinks. Booze, Coke, shit like that. So just before the cruise happened, there was like a Facebook group for the entirety of the cruise, like people going on so you could learn about whatever, and meet new people and stuff. And there was a bunch of like people my age, like 18, 19, 20. And they had like this group chat going and they invited me in and I like started talking and stuff like that. And then I went on the cruise, I met up with them, shit like that. And they were already drinking stuff because they used to do it. And they were like, "Oh, bro, try this." And the first ever fucking booze, bro, that I had was Long Island iced tea. I don't know if you know what that is, but it's
No.
fucking strong as shit, bro. It's like
What is it made of?
5 different spirits. I think it's vodka, tequila,
Oh shit.
whiskey. Oh no, maybe no whiskey. It's vodka, tequila, triple sec. There's another booze. Oh, gin, maybe.
Okay.
And then you put a little dash of Coke in there. It tastes sweet as fuck as the triple sec,
Yeah.
which is like orange liqueur.
Mm.
And I drank it, bro. And I was like, what is this, bro? It's just like Sprite. And I remember then I felt a bit fucking woozy. Whoa. And I got a bit tipsy. And obviously you can have as many drinks as you want. They could just keep bringing it over to you. And I got destroyed, bro. And I was drunk as fuck. And I remember this one time, on the cruise, there was a club.
Yeah.
So we went up to the club and I was like, oh, boys, I got to take a piss real quick. So I went to the toilet and I remember just being absolutely smashed to smithereens, bro, in the toilet, looking at myself in the mirror and going, like, wash my hands and just looking up in the mirror and going, and just laughing at myself. I just loved the feeling, bro. And it was literally 2 weeks because the cruise was 2 weeks and it was 2 weeks of just getting disgustingly levels of
In the
drunk.
cruise.
I loved it, bro. And then obviously university was a few months later. I think the cruise was August. And then as I came back the next month, I went to university. But I wanted to keep that going because I just loved the level of confidence. And it brought me out of my shell and stuff like that. But yeah, university was like 3-4 years of just getting drunk as fuck. And I just loved it.
Yeah, yeah. And how about now? Like, do you still drink?
No, I'm 2 years sober.
Oh, really? 2 years? Like, no
Yeah,
alcohol at all.
No, I've not touched a drop, bro. Like, I loved at the start, when you first get into drinking, you're like, oh, I love being drunk. And university culture as well is literally just going out and getting drunk every single day. And that's what I'm doing because I loved that life and I knew nothing better, to be honest. I loved the feeling of being drunk. I loved the confidence it brought out of me in the social aspect. But then it started catching up to me. Like I stopped going to the gym and the next day I would wake up, hangovers were getting worse and worse. Like when I was 18 and first started drinking, I could wake up
and go
after
get at
being
it.
like, 2 hours sleep, bro. I could wake up and just be like, I feel perfectly fine. Go and do like a marathon or some shit. Then it got to the point as I started getting older and my body started deteriorating.
Yeah.
It got to the point where I would wake up and I'd be like, I just die all day. Sometimes I'd have like 2-3 day hangovers. And it got to a point where I was like, fuck, bro, I can't keep doing this anymore. I can't keep up with it like I used to. And I just stopped. I was like, I can't. I remember the last drink I had was 2 years ago. I went out for my friend's birthday. I got drunk, and the next day I woke up hungover. I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. Like, it's just not fun for me anymore.
Right.
I think it's just because I grew up and there's a thing in the UK that a lot of people, when they're like 19, 20, they just don't touch drink anymore because they've done it so much when they were younger.
Right.
They're not fun anymore. So I got to that stage, and I don't miss the partying anymore, bro. I've just got it all out my system. I don't miss the partying. I don't miss the boozing. It's just not fun for me.
Yeah. For me, I never actually liked alcohol. So I never got into that. I don't know. I just felt like I didn't like the feeling of being out of control, Like sorry, I'm just visualizing you, like what you mentioned about going to the bathroom and laughing, because I feel like I did that too. And I didn't like it. Like looking in the mirror, laughing. But yeah, I didn't like that feeling of being out of control.
Yeah, see, I loved it. not so much out of control, like, like blackout drunk, but I love when you like drink and you get quite drunk and you're confident as fuck. You talk to anyone and
Yeah,
everyone.
yeah,
You do
bro.
stupid you normally never do. I love that. And I just loved the feeling of being tipsy, listen. I would sit in my room and get ready because obviously we'd have like house parties and stuff. And I would sit in my room, put some music on and just drink. And then when I get to that level of tipsy, I'd be like, oh, okay, now I'm
It's
now I'm
ready.
happy or whatever shit. Yeah, now I'm prepped. But I would love that feeling. And then obviously the feeling of being just like blackout drunk isn't nice.
Yeah,
But it was the social aspect and the confidence aspect that I fucking loved.
yeah.
But then I think because I did it so much, my confidence level when I was like sober went from year to year, and I just
Mm,
maintained that level of just
right.
confidence, fuck sober. So when I drank, I would just be the same as I would sober, and I
Yeah,
just felt the need to stop. Like I didn't need booze to be like
yeah.
confident or something.
Right. I get that too because I remember there was one time. So I've been working before I did Twitter. I have been like a consultant for businesses because I know
Mhm.
people in like agencies here and I fix them up, like when they need something in Philippines, I would like fix their documents and things like that. I remember drinking with a CEO from Australia. Like he has a company there, like a big company, and he's rich. And we were just drinking. It was just only the two of us because we were talking business. And he just kept on like putting out Glenfiddich, so like Scotch.
Mm.
Is that Scotch? No, no, no. It's but whiskey, right? He just kept on like
Yeah,
putting
yeah.
bottle of bottle and bottle. Then I was already drunk, and bro, I didn't remember what happened, but I felt that moment when you were saying like getting confidence, and I was just this was the CEO, and I was like treating him with respect in the beginning, but then he's also like retarded in his mind, so he wants to be friends with me. That's why he asked me out drinking, right? Like he wants to see my true nature in a way. And he did because eventually I didn't even remember it. But for some reason I challenged him to push-ups, bro. Like I challenged him like who can do more push-ups. And we were just fucking around. I was singing. I even sang because there was a band and I asked them if I could sing. And then I sang there and we had a great time. And yeah, after that, I just gained that confidence where, man, if I could do this with a CEO, if I'm drunk, if I keep this like level of confidence, I, like I could do anything now. So yeah, I definitely get what you mean. Have you ever had those moments where
Yeah,
you like that thing happened too?
yeah. Booze was brought out. I think booze just exacerbates the level of confidence
Yeah.
that one protrudes. That was such a fucking Shakespeare sentence. But I would I would drink because I needed to like not needed to, but I would feel more social when I drank. And
Yeah.
it was more of a social thing. Like you go out, you'd have a few drinks and you'd like loosen up a little bit and then you'd be like, oh, I'd be talking to fucking girls and stuff. I'd be just dancing like a moron. Like I would never go out sober to just drink water and just dance on the
Yeah.
dance floor and stuff. I would do it drunk. And then but again, that level of confidence then started creeping up slowly. And as I was sober, I would be more confident and I'd
Yeah.
drink and I'd become that a little bit more confident. But yeah, I did some dumb shit, bro, when I was drunk. Like shit you would never do sober. Like I remember this one time we were at the university pub
Yeah.
with me and my two friends, and we wanted to go to the club, and the club isn't too far away. It's like literally a train stop away. So we got too drunk, forgot the time of the train, and we were like, "Fuck, we need to run for the train real quick because it was the last one."
Yeah.
So we ended up sprinting to the train, and it was because I was drinking so much and stopped going to the gym. I wasn't fit at all or
Yeah.
fast, so they were both really skinny, and they could run fast and shit. And they got on the train, and I was like 2 minutes from, and it left. I was like, fuck, and they were fucking waving to me on the train and shit like that. So I was at the train station. This guy with an Audi. There's these two guys with an Audi just sat randomly in the train station on their own. And they saw me obviously miss the train. And they were like, "Oh, bro, you going to town?" I was like, "Yeah, yeah, I'm going to town. I just missed the fucking train. I'm gonna have to walk there." And the walk wasn't far. It was like 15, 20 minutes. I could have power walked that in 10.
Yeah.
But obviously being a drunk dumbass, bro, they were like, "Oh yeah, bro, just get in. We'll give you." And now normally when two guys in a black Audi, bro, at a train station on their own offer you a ride into town sober, you'd be like, "Fuck no, this is
I
this is
can walk.
mysterious as fuck.
Yeah.
Go in, bro." Yeah. bro, they said jump in, bro. So I was like, yeah, okay, cool, I'll jump in. Just randomly got it. I went to get in. They were like, oh yeah, don't get in the back, bro. Get in the boot, which is the trunk. I was like, now obviously alarm bells will start ringing for some people. My dumb ass got in, and I got in. But they did actually give me a ride into town. Why they asked me to get in the trunk, I have no idea. But my bro, I could have got fucking kidnapped or some
Yeah.
shit. I just got in, bro. But they did give me a ride, which was fortunate. But looking back, they could have just fucking killed me.
Yeah.
But just levels of that shit, bro. I remember, what did I do? I think I did something with push-ups as well. I think I was in the club, bro, just doing push-ups on the dance floor. No idea why. I just felt like,
Yeah.
yeah, fuck it. I want to start doing push-ups, bro. I remember there's one time it was like arm wrestling people on the fucking bar tables and stuff just for, yeah, bro. I've done, there's a list of stupid shit I've done drunk that I could literally write a book about. But yeah,
You
it does
should,
bring
bro.
out, yeah, I probably should, bro. I need to remember them first. That's the one thing I hated about drinking is I can never remember the night before.
Yeah.
And then I'd wake up and people would be like, oh, bro, do you remember doing this? And I was like, no, what the fuck are you talking about? But yeah, more stupid than sensible, but it is what it is, bro.
And it's funny if you look back at it. It's funny, funny stories, man. But yeah, just moving on with that, like when you started like quitting alcohol, you also went back to the gym, and obviously that's one of like your biggest things that you post about a personal brand too, right? Like you always post like a gym pump or something, go to the gym post. Like how has that kind of changed your mindset when it comes to X2? Like how has fitness helped you in general?
So the gym is a very big part of my life. Like I always say to my girlfriend on the day, like if I wasn't able to go to the gym for some reason, like if my fucking legs fell off or some shit, I would literally just, I think I would just die because the gym is such a big. I think a lot of people think with the gym is, oh yeah, they're just going to get big, they're going to get
Yeah.
muscular and stuff like that, and that is a part of it. Obviously, I want to look good, but I think the mental and the social aspects outweigh the muscle and the
Mm,
physique because it's for me, like it's just deeply ingrained into me. Everything I do now is the gym or fitness and stuff, aside from money and stuff. But the gym is very deeply ingrained into me because of like the mental side of it and the
mm,
social aspects of it. Like yesterday, it's a nice escape. Obviously, the muscles and the physique is one thing, but it's a nice escape too. I can just go to the gym as soon as you walk into the gym. Nothing else matters but
yeah.
just lifting. And
Yeah.
it's nice because you can't really get that with other things. You're always thinking about something else. Whereas in the gym, you're lifting weights and the only thing you're focused on is just lifting. Like if you're
Mm.
halfway through benching or some shit and you're like, oh fuck, what am I having? Or what have I got to do? You're gonna just fucking crush yourself. So it's nice because all focuses are on lifting. But the gym has changed me positively in so many fucking ways, bro. Like mentally, confidence as well. Like you just go in, just be like, "Oh, how's it going, bro?" And you just talk to fucking everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone is nice in the gym. Like I've never, you'll get the odd dick. Like you're like,
Mm,
"Oh, bro, I'm fucking using that shit." But I think everyone should get in the gym.
mm,
Like even if you don't want to lift, just go in and do cardio or some shit. Just get in the fucking gym because it's such a nice part of your day where you don't have to focus on any of your worries and stuff like that. And
mm.
it's just a nice escape that you can use, like a tool you can use. But in terms of how it's like affected me, bro, fucking confidence, obviously the physique is one thing. That's why I highly endorse everyone to just get in the fucking gym.
Yeah.
Like that's why mainly why I stopped drinking too, is because I would wake up and I'd be like, okay, I'm hungover now, I can't go to the gym. And obviously, like booze affects protein synthesis, such an
Yeah.
awful word to say. I was thinking that I'm putting all this effort into the gym. I'm eating right, and then I'm going out and getting absolutely destroyed off booze
Uh,
and just like not ruining my gains, but it's affecting it to a point. And I think it just got to a point where the priorities, like I would rather put more time and effort into the gym and
mm.
build up a nice physique and get my mindset right, over just drinking and just ruining all that progress. So I think the gym is a big catalyst in why I stopped boozing too. It's
Yeah.
such a
Yeah.
good fucking place, bro.
Yeah, man. For me personally, though, I don't go to the gym because, and I've just been used to like, um, home workouts in a way. Like I think I mentioned this to you in one call. Like I just train at home, and I started like working out, not going to the gym, but I started working out in pandemic. Well, not pandemic, before pandemic, 2019, I think. I was like, How old was I? So I'm born in 2002, like 2 years before you. So probably like 17 at that time. Yeah, 17 to 2019. Yeah, makes sense. So I started working out when I was 17 and I started lifting weights. And it was because um the boyfriend of my mother at that time was like told me, go to the gym, things like that. Because I was fat, bro. Like I grew up as a fat kid. And I didn't, every time I remember I used to play basketball, but every time we would train, like we would have, what's this? Suicides, like the whole training thing with the cardio and shit like that. I would just quit, bro. Like, because I didn't like the feeling of discomfort. I'd just go away from any discomfort whatsoever. I remember when the first time I went to the gym, I couldn't even do a push-up. Like it's at age 17, I struggled to do a push-up. But so I started like working out, and at first it was just to look good, right? To do some fitness stuff, to like look good for ladies. But then in 2020, it all changed when I met David Goggins. Like that guy. He talked, I read his book, I listened to the podcast that he did, and he talked about how everything, like more than a physical thing, like working out is a mental thing. You're training your mind. And that's when the mentality shifted for me. That's when, you know, I I always flash back to where I remember in a basketball training, I pretended that I had asthma. I had no fucking asthma whatsoever. I'm fucking healthy as shit. But I pretended that I had asthma so that I would get off the training of like the suicides. And yeah, I remember I felt shitty at that time because, you know, I wanted to be a basketball player, but because I was a pussy, because I was a bitch, I quit. And so I would go back to that. And that's when I started like doing David Goggins stuff, like running 4 miles every day, doing push-ups and pull-ups. And like when my legs don't work, I'll do push-ups. If my upper body don't work, I'd like do squats, like anything to move my body. And that's how it helped me also with X, just translating this to like work ethic in general. It's like when you do fitness in the beginning, you won't see gains, right? Like even if you do 600 crunches today, you won't see abs tomorrow, right? Like there's nothing that you would see immediately. But if you do that consistently, you will have you will see the results in the end. And I think that's important too. That's what contributed to my business growth, to my X growth, is just posting every day, like commenting every day and not giving a shit about closing a client or getting those likes or going viral, because they will come, right? And eventually, if you put the work in, it will come somehow. It's like nothing happens from 0 to 1 immediately. Like nothing happens and everything happens. And that's the thing with fitness too. You won't see abs in the beginning, but one day you'll wake up, like what you talk about, seeing the top abs. You'll just see the top abs immediately, but you won't see it like gradual. It's more like boom, it happens. You feel me?
Yeah, exactly, bro. Like fitness, a lot of people, I say like 90% of people start their fitness journey because they want to look good. I did. I just wanted to get
Yeah,
jacked, bro. And then as you keep going to the gym, it instills so many mental things into you, like consistency, persistence, discipline, and shit. Like you said, bro, you're not gonna do 600 push-ups or 600 crunches and see abs or like an Arnold chest.
yeah,
But if you consistently do that over time, you will. It's like the
yeah,
same thing for me, bro. When I was cutting, I was 240 pounds last year. And I was like, okay, I need to cut now because I was fat. So I kept cutting whatever. And I looked the same, bro, for so long. And all of a sudden, one day I woke up and I could see my abs. And I was like, oh, abs. And, my veins started coming out. And I was like, oh my God, it's working. But a lot of people will go for like a week. Like, oh,
yeah,
this isn't working.
yeah,
And they'll stop.
yeah,
But the thing with the gym is it teaches you so much consistency and discipline lessons.
yeah,
And it shows you that if you do something enough, not even the gym, if you do a business or whatever, a skill, if you perform it consistently over time,
yeah,
something will happen.
yeah,
But that because people don't see results, even in business, bro, like on X,
yeah,
people post, and then after a week, they're like, oh, I don't have 1,000 followers yet. And then they're like, this isn't working, I'm giving up.
yeah.
Same with fitness. You just need to keep going consistently
Mm,
for prolonged amounts of time, like more than the average person, and then
mm.
you'll see results. And then all the people are then like, "Oh, bro, how did you do that?" Like, bro, you just gotta fucking do it every single day until something actually happens, and then you can
Yeah,
see
yeah,
that it works. And you're
yeah.
just being a fucking bitch, giving up.
Yeah, and also like something like experimenting too, because some exercises, the problem with people is that, they look up, oh, what's the best chest exercise? And then they see the best chest exercise and they do it and then they don't see results. And they don't realize that, there's genetics, right? Like there's different things that work for different people. Not because Arnold used this split doesn't mean it will result to you looking like Arnold. There might be like a different, you know, you see it all the time with fitness gurus. They talk about it's like I I have a different program than Arnold. I have a different thing than this guy and this guy. And again, it's just a matter of like staying consistent, first doing it consistently, right? That's the first thing you need to nail down to go there. And then kind of fall in love with the process. Going back to what you said, doing it because you want it, right? Falling in love with just doing it and trying different things and experimenting, fucking around with the gym, looking at what works and what feels the most pump. Because I'm gonna be honest, like bench press, I don't feel like my chest growing when I do a bench press, but when I do a dip, like a weighted dip, I can feel my chest burning up. And I don't know if it works for me, but that's what feels good to me. So what I do actually to grow my chest is dips more than bench press. Like I just weight the dips.
Yeah, it's all about, I think the first thing that everyone needs to do, regardless of if it's fitness, if it's business, whatever, you just need to get into some sort of routine, even if it's like copy and Arnold split. Like the
Yeah.
first few months that I went to the gym, I just Googled training splits and I would just copy the workouts. And then once you consistently start performing their action, it's all about then just iterating. Like,
Yeah.
okay, I used to do like 7 bicep exercises, bro. And just because it told me, I was like, okay, I'll just do it. So then you get into the routine of doing it, and then you find out what works for you and what doesn't work, and that's the
Mm,
next stage. And then you
yeah.
iterate and you change things. And then the last stage is okay, now I need to craft it for myself.
Yeah.
Like, so
Yeah.
it goes from copying workout splits to changing it a little bit to just
Mm,
making your own completely and tailoring it to you. And it's the same in business. I'm just going to copy I'm going to copy this guy's off. I'm going to learn his skill. I'm going to do the exact same thing he
yeah.
does. And then it's about, okay, this isn't working well for me, so I'm going to change a bit of it. And then you move into then, okay, now I need to make my own thing and do my own thing. But I think everyone should just, whatever you want to start with, if it's like fitness, if it's money, if it's business, whatever,
Mm.
just copy what someone does, get into the flow of doing it,
And
and
then
then learn
adjust.
from what
Yeah.
works and what doesn't work, and then just iterate. And
Yeah. Yeah.
but a lot of people will just copy what people do
Mm.
and never get to the second stage of iteration. And that's where they give up because they're like, oh, this clearly doesn't work, but they've not tried it or changed it enough or made it their own enough to work. And that's
Yeah.
where a lot of people just give up. And consistency goes out the window.
Yeah. And it also, I think if you're actually thinking, you're not chat GPTing your way and just like fucking copying like absolutely everything they do and actually using your brain to think, okay, this is like obviously not working and I should try something else. If you actually think, you'll adjust like naturally. You don't need to, through that consistency, you will realize what you need to adjust, right? Like you with gym and the business, you'll naturally think, okay, 200 comments is not working. Okay, for me, I don't count my comments, but I think, okay, 30 minutes, I will like comment and I'll just comment as much as I can, right? Because now time is what's more valuable to me at this point because, I have clients, I have things to do. And so I'm just thinking time, 30 minutes, I'll engage and then I'll do outreach. And that's it, and then you develop system instead of thinking, copying completely.
Yeah, it's the same thing with the 200 DMs a day or 200 comments a day. Get into the flow or the routine of leaving comments, like leave 200
Mm,
and then iterate and be like, okay, 200, I can't manage 200 per day.
yeah,
But I've learned from leaving these 200 comments a day what works and what doesn't work. So I'm just
yeah.
going to make this now a routine of my own. And then you
Mm,
leave maybe 50 comments a day. But you take the lessons that you learned from the 200 and you apply it to the 50 and it works just as well.
yeah.
So, like, it's the same thing when I started. The guy was like, yeah, just post this content, write these comments. I was like, okay, cool. I did it. I was like, okay, this isn't doable anymore. This isn't
Yeah.
working as well as I wanted it to. So I just changed and I
Yeah.
made my own and started writing my own content. And then you learn. And obviously now I'm giving advice on how to leave content and
But you need to
comments.
think too, right?
But
Like
exactly,
people.
yeah, bro.
Yeah. So just this question kind of funny, but do you ever take days off on X or in the gym?
On X, no. In the gym, like today is my rest day, but
All
I'm gonna
right.
go because it's just a thing where I feel shit if I don't go to the gym. Like even if I just go and jump on the treadmill for 10
Yeah.
minutes, map, I've gone to the gym, just get in the gym. X, no, because a lot of
Mm.
people are like, oh bro, why don't you take a day off from X? And there's two reasons why I do it. Two, just to keep the momentum up
Yeah.
and keep it consistent,
Mm.
consistency reasons. But then more technical side of it is if you take a day off from X completely. You stop leaving comments, you don't write content, you don't answer any
Mm.
DMs, and you just completely turn off the app or you get off the website for a day.
Mm.
The algorithm then sees,
Yeah, it goes down,
okay,
right?
so this guy's not showing up today. So let's deboost him and boost other people who are actually using the platform because obviously
Mm.
X isn't going to show people who are not using the platform. They're going to show people who are consistently using it. So
Mm.
I do show up every single day. Number one, because I have to, because obviously
Mm.
it's basically my job. And number two, for technical reasons like the algorithm, so I don't get deboosted and keep the momentum. It's all about momentum, pretty much.
Yeah, yeah.
Like just keep that wheel spinning, pretty much, bro.
Yeah, you talk about that too in your newsletter. It's like making a snowball. But then, at one point
Yeah,
you can just let the snowball like go down on its own, but still kind of push it a little bit.
yeah. Like a lot of people they'll put all the effort in the start to make that little snowball, and they'll keep rolling and rolling and rolling. And then once it starts rolling on its own, you're like, oh, it's rolling on its own, it's working. But that doesn't mean you should stop
You should
pushing it
stop. Yeah.
because with the combined momentum and your effort pushing it, you're going to get more results of when it's just good. Because eventually, if you just let it roll on its own and you don't push it for ages, it's going to stop.
Yeah.
But if you keep pushing and pushing and pushing it, combining that with the momentum it's got, the results are going to be substantial and it's just going to grow in size and it's going to go faster and it's going to get bigger. But then, yeah, a lot of people will just see, okay, it's rolling on its own now, so I can stop pushing or stop pushing as hard. And then, like, oh, fuck, results are starting to go down now. Or like it's
Mm.
starting to slow down, it's starting to melt a bit.
Yeah.
And then, like, and then it's much
It's
harder.
harder.
I
Yeah,
think the
because it's
analogy,
heavier, right? It's also
yeah,
heavier, actually,
yeah,
physically.
that's the analogy I like to use. Yeah, because it's got to such a big point now where if the momentum stops and you try and push it again, it's so harder to get it rolling again. And that's like
Mm.
it's like probably like the best analogy I've ever come up with, to be honest.
Yeah, bro, it's crazy analogy physically and like metaphorically. But yeah. So um it was great conversation and I like to end my podcast in this way, bro. I just ask my guest because we're in the creator economy, and I just like to ask my guests like the top five creative resources for you that kind of like shape your career, your personality, songs, anything like songs, books, people, anything really.
Oh fuck, put me on the spot. Um, I think Danko's web design course was
Mm,
the
mm,
number one thing because that kind of kick-started my not only business but Twitter as well. 'Cause it was like a Twitter growth thing in it as well.
yeah.
That's number one. Um, Connecting with other people who are way ahead of me is another
Mm,
one. Just where you say, it's not like a mentor, but just advice from people who are further ahead of you
yeah.
is number two. Psycho-Cybernetics, bro. If you've never read that book, read that
Sorry,
fucking book. It's such a good book.
what is it called?
Psycho-Cybernetics.
Okay, gotcha.
I don't know. I can't remember who it was by. Let me Google it.
Psycho.
Psycho-Cybernetics is by Maxwell
Oh,
Maltz. Very good book.
what's it
Read
about?
that. That's one book I can. Just read it, bro. It's different for everyone who reads it. It's not like about one certain thing, but
Wow.
it's why I like because it's like a self-help book, but it's like motivational self-help and shit like that. But it means something different to every person who reads it. It's not like Rich Dad Poor Dad, where it's about making money. It's much more obviously it's made for everyone, but
Yeah.
it's tailored to you. The way you read it and interpret things is very good.
Wow, that's great.
Um, that's number three. What else is there? In terms of like tools and stuff, or like systems. Notion is very fundamental in
Yeah.
everything I do. It's like where I keep all my content, where I host all my stuff, and where I manage everything. I couldn't function without Notion. Um, Probably stimulants, bro. Number five, stimulants.
Caffeine,
Nicotine,
and
caffeine.
nicotine. You post a
Yeah,
lot
bro.
about it.
Like on my desk at all times is nicotine and caffeine. That's
I
like one thing that or just like stimulants in general.
mm, I tried nicotine for some reason that I can't handle it, bro. Like I can handle like the nicotine because I smoked and I did like vape too. But for some reason the nicotine patches, I can't.
Just try the pouches, bro. Like you try the smallest dosage of pouches possible because if you start on like what's deemed normal,
Yeah.
like you'll just throw up and you'll just pass out. Like I remember I tried the 6 milligram one. So I used to vape. And I was like, I'll try the pouches. So or the Zins. So I
Yeah.
tried a 6 milligram one. Oh, bro, awful. I nearly passed out. I nearly
Yeah.
threw up everywhere. I was like,
Yeah,
I'm never
bro.
doing this again. I was like, okay, I'll try it again, but I'll try a smaller dose one. So I tried 3 milligram and I still had the really insane head rush, but you kind of just get over it then after your first time.
Mm.
But now I'm on fucking 50 milligrams and it gives me a
50,
nice rush.
50?
Yeah.
What
Yeah,
the
yeah.
fuck, bro? What's
But there's a stupid story behind this. So I started with these. These are the 6 milligram ones. I think they're
yeah.
six. Yeah, these are 6 milligram ones. And they're the ones that nearly killed me. I was like, fuck. So I was like, I'll try it again. So I went to these ones, which are 3 milligrams. And they
Uh-huh.
they still fucked me up a bit, but it wasn't as intense.
Mm.
And then I went to the store one day with my girlfriend. It was like 2, 3 weeks ago, some shit like that. We went to get food and then we went to the
Mm.
store and it was like a vape store. I was like, oh, I wonder if they got like pouches because I was running out. And they had Pablos in there, bro, which are these. And these are like I wouldn't recommend anyone start with Pablos. They're like a nice daily for me now. But I said to the guy, "Oh, are these like strong? How strong are these?" And they were like, and he was like a foreign guy, and he was like, "Oh, no, not very strong, very nice." I was like, "Okay, whatever, fuck it." So I bought it, and he upsold me. He was like, "Oh, it's 2 for 12." And I was like, "Yeah, fuck it, I'll just get two." And I went home and I popped one because I thought they were like maybe 10 milligrams or something. I popped one, bro. Oh, fuck, I had no colors and shit. Swear to God. But I was doing work and I was so honed in on writing, and I stopped writing, and it got to me. Then I was like, I had like Nick sick and everything. I didn't, so I took it out. I was like, how strong are these fuckers? Because they're not 6 milligrams, and they were fucking 50, bro. And I was like, oh my God. But then I took it the next morning, and I was like, fuck, I can't handle it. So I went back to like 12 milligrams, I think. And then
Yeah.
I was just like, fuck it, 12 isn't doing anything. Let me go back to the 50s. And now the 50s is my new normal. So I think if you are going to do Zins, start really small, like
Yeah.
3 milligrams.
That's the
Work your
orange
way
one,
up,
right?
maybe double. Yeah, this one's mango ice. I wanted the grape one,
Mm.
but he didn't have it. Oh,
Mm.
fuck. So I got them out. The flavor's okay, but I really want the grape one, but I can't find it anywhere.
Cool, cool. I'll try it. I'll try the smaller dose. I think I tried like 5 milligrams at first. That's why I got fucked, man. Yeah, it was just Nick
Yeah,
sick.
it's crazy, bro. Just like I used to vape, I used to go through like a vape a day, bro. It
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
disgusting. You get the initial rush, like when you first hit it, and then you
Mm.
keep smoking and nothing happens.
Yeah.
And if you're going through like a vape a day, nicotine's obviously in your system. And then you try the 6 milligram pouches, bro, and it just kills you. And you're like, fuck, bro, what is this? But yeah, start small, bro, if you're gonna do them.
Yeah, I'll try it out. I'll try it out. But yeah, it was fun having you, Aaron. It's one of the
Yeah, it was a
most
pleasure,
fun.
bro.
Yeah, yeah. We'll hang out soon again. But yeah, thanks for hopping in, bro.
No problem, brother.
Yeah. So anyone uh follow Aaron Will. I am Aaron. I think that's what you're I am Aaron Will. I think that's it, right?
Yeah,
One
that's
of
it,
the
bro.
yeah, one of the best like X people. If you want to grow an X, go follow Aaron. So yeah, thanks guys. Bye.